Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The federal government has intensified efforts to reshape Nigeria's infrastructure landscape with the signing of key agreements aimed at accelerating major highway projects across the country under President Bola Tinubu's renewed Hope agenda. Minister of Works David Umahi says the projects are expected to unlock economic opportunities, strengthen regional connectivity, and drive national development. Kabir Hassan reports.
At the Federal Ministry of Works in Abuja, the federal government formalized a new partnership with construction firms to advance some of the country's most ambitious road infrastructure projects. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, described the agreement as a bold step toward transforming Nigeria's transportation network and laying the foundation for a long-term economic growth. The project captured under the agreement, including sections of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, the Calabar-Ebonyi Abuja Corridor, and the Akwanga-Jos Bauchi-Gombe Biu Road. According to the minister, the strategic road corridors are designed to improve interstate connectivity, boost commerce, and ease the movement of people and goods across the federation.
Accordingly, so we are very happy with what you are doing, and we would like you to also participate in section 1B and 2B that we are already designing, so that the project will be of the same, nature like the other very legacy projects. So for this, section that is basically in Benue, in Kogi, in Nasarawa, we commend you, and we congratulate you. We hand over the system to you.
He says the project have been spread across 6 geopolitical zones to ensure inclusive infrastructure development and balanced economic expansion nationwide. The minister also disclosed that the road project will be executed through a structured financing framework backed by sustainability and maintenance plan. With constructions expected to gather momentum, the federal government says the legacy road project will open up economic corridors, stimulate trade, and deepen national integration across Nigeria. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has dismissed political interpretations surrounding his recent visit to the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Professor Netawale, assisting that governance and infrastructure delivery remain his primary focus. He made this known at the inspection of ongoing infrastructure projects in Abuja. Again, Kabir Hassan was there for Global TV.
Amid growing political speculations, the FCT minister says leadership must rise above party lines and personal sentiment in the interest of national development. Speaking during the inspection of ongoing project in Abuja, Nyesom Wike maintained that politics should not breed hostility among leaders, stressing that professional relationship and mutual respect must not be mistaken for political compromise. The minister described his visit to the APC national chairman as a private and reciprocal gesture, insisting that constructive engagement across political divides is necessary for effective governance.
I don't play politics of enmity. I don't do that. And so if the National Party chairman of the All Progressive Congress, who was trying to see me severally and couldn't see me, and I saw him go and see me in his house.
Wike reaffirmed his administration commitment to key infrastructure projects across the Federal Capital Territory, including major road works in Karu, Apo, Karshi, and Kubwa. He stressed that his intention remains fixed on delivering projects that directly impact residents rather than responding to political distraction and public speculations.
I don't care about what people say. What's important to me is what I'm doing for my people. My job that is assigned to me to do. It's not about what somebody on the road is thinking or their perception. That's not my business.
The FCT minister assured residents that ongoing projects will be delivered according to schedule, stating that performance, development, and service to the people will continue to guide his administration. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
The national chairman of the Democratic Leadership Alliance, Samuel Meme, has called on Nigerians, especially young people, to join the party in building a more inclusive and people-oriented democracy. He stated this during the party's first elective convention held in Abuja. Political correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
The Democratic Leadership Alliance is one of the newly registered political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Delegates from across the country gathered in Abuja for the convention of the Democratic Leadership Alliance, where party leaders reaffirmed their commitments to democratic values, youth inclusion, and national development. Speaking after his re-election, the national chairman, Samuel Mema, assured members that the party would focus on national unity, good governance, and grassroots participation ahead of future elections.
Let this first national convention of the Democratic Leadership Alliance serve as a declaration that a new political culture has emerged in Nigeria, one rooted in ideas, integrity, innovation, and responsible leadership.
Delivering the keynote address, human rights activist Henry Shield called on the party to provide a credible platform for Nigerians seeking transparency, accountability, and responsible leadership in the country's political system.
Let this be the hope of the Nigerian youth. Let this be the party that is not locking its doors against Nigerian youth. Let this be the party that a 200 level, 300 level student can say, I'm going to pick a form.
The convention also featured the swearing in and administration of oath of office to the newly elected National Executive Committee, as well as amendments to sections of the party's constitution. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
The National University Commission (NUC) has signed a performance contract with beneficiary universities under the World Bank-backed Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standard Enhancement Project. The performance contract is aimed at strengthening specialized education, research and professional training in Nigeria. Global Television's Priscilla Obasi reports.
The World Bank-supported project, coordinated by the Federal Ministry of Education through the NUC, is designed to build institutional capacity in procurement, environmental standards, and social governance across both public and private sectors. Under the agreement, beneficiary institutions are expected to deepen postgraduate training, expand professional certification programs, and strengthen research output in procurement systems, environmental management, social standards, and public sector governance. Speaking at the ceremony, Executive Secretary of the NUC, Abdullahi Ribadu, described the agreement as a major accountability mechanism that will ensure institutions meet clearly defined targets tied to funding, training, and program delivery. He noted that the agreement is expected to unlock fresh funding from $80 million World Bank intervention while tightening accountability and delivery standards among participating institutions.
Within and outside Nigeria will benefit from the education that will be provided by this additional funding in terms of the different tracks, the advanced, the postgraduate, the BSc degrees for this specialized programs.
World Bank Tax Team Leader for SPESSE, Ishaq Sadiq, says the initiative aligns with the federal government's drive to boost human capital development, improve institutional efficiency, and enhance the global competitiveness of Nigeria's higher education sector.
We have wonderful success achieved by all of you present here. The 6 Center of Excellence, Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Environment, BPP, NUC, everyone worked together to achieve the result.
Participants at the meeting further noted that the performance contract would strengthen monitoring and evaluation systems while ensuring that participating universities deliver measurable impact in line with objectives of the World Bank-funded intervention.
Prior to this, we'd had nothing on procurement in terms of training. We didn't have on social standards or about environmental standards. We touched them a bit. What it has done is made it more intentional for us to train the personnel and the people that would work in these areas and create the systems that are required to strengthen the country.
The signing marks the significant milestone in the implementation of the SPE-SSE project, with stakeholders expressing confidence that the initiative will deepen specialized education, strengthen institutional accountability, and accelerate national development. Priscilla Obasi, Global TV News.
As Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark Nurses Week 2026, nurses across the country are raising concerns about poor staffing, inadequate remuneration, and limited career advancement within the healthcare sector. They said addressing these challenges is critical to improving healthcare delivery and strengthening the nation's health system. Zara Nasir, who spoke with some of the registered nurses and midwives in an exclusive interview, has this report.
At the front line of patient care, nurses remain one of the most critical pillars of the healthcare system, providing medical support, promoting healthy living, and managing patients across hospitals and communities. From administering treatment to monitoring recovery and coordinating care, their role continues to shape the quality of healthcare delivery nationwide. But despite their contributions, many nurses say they are battling difficult working conditions, manpower shortages, and limited opportunities for their professional growth. A registered nurse and midwife at Abuja Clinic, Enebon Eze Patients, says beyond welfare concerns, nurses also face restrictions in leadership decision-making positions within the health sector.
Our challenges as nurses that we are faced with things like poor staffing. Also, we are faced with conditions like poor remuneration, also limited career growth, and also we are also limited in the aspect of being leaders again. So now these are some of the challenges that we face as nurses, and we are hoping that this Nurses Week and the theme of the Nurses Week is going to help in calling for action for them to make things better for us as nurses.
Another nurse, Omale Mary Efe, also highlighted the working relationship between doctors and nurses, noting that professional misunderstanding in some hospitals sometimes affects effective collaboration and service delivery.
There is always that a notion that nurses and doctors are in loggerheads together. It's always just like that. But we, as a team, as a health workers, we work as a team. We collaborate with doctors, nurses, pharmacists. We work as a team, and then we give a quality care to our patients.
With the 2026 theme, Our Nurses, Our Future, empowered nurses save lives. Stakeholders say greater investment in nurses, welfare, training, and working conditions is essential to building a stronger and more responsive healthcare system in Nigeria. Zahra Unasr, Global TV News.
As climate change continues to threaten livelihoods, food security, and the environment, journalists have been challenged to take the lead in driving a public awareness and accountability through impactful climate reporting. The charge came at a special climate governance training for media practitioners in Abuja. Environment correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
With rising concerns over flooding, deforestation, pollution, and extreme weather conditions, media professionals are being called upon to strengthen climate reporting and hold institutions accountable to environmental commitments. At a media training organized by the Women Environment Program in partnership with Enviro News Advocacy and Campaign in Abuja, journalists were equipped with knowledge on climate governance, the United Nations Framework on Climate Change, and the strategic role of the media in advancing environmental accountability. Facilitator and climate communication expert Michael Simire said the media remains a powerful tool in shaping public understanding and influencing action on climate-related issues. He noted that journalists must go beyond headlines to spotlight the realities of climate change and amplify the voices of affected communities.
They are having funny UN, they all having funny challenges. I remember one of the calls that we went to.
Yeah.
I think it was in Cancun, Mexico.
Like this year might be.
After buying tickets for everybody, we gave us $5,000.
Delivering the keynote address, former chairman of the House Committee on Climate Change, Sam Onuibo, described Nigeria's Climate Change Act 2021 as a major milestone in the country's environmental governance framework. He said effective implementation of climate policies required stronger collaboration between government, the media, and citizens to ensure sustainability and accountability.
Climate governance is therefore no longer treated as an isolated environmental concern, but as a central component of sustainable national development.
Participants at the training stressed the need for more investigative, data-driven, solution-focused climate reporting capable of driving policy action and public engagement. They also called for sustained media advocacy to ensure institutions uphold their climate commitment and environmental responsibility. Ubong Osoro, Global TV News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello. With a warmer climate, our storms are fiercer and they pack a lot of energy, just like the rainstorms we've had in recent times over the Federal Capital Territory, where we had reports of signage, boards and poles being pulled down and other weak structures. There are prospects of thunderstorms across most parts of the country from Friday, from the south, the central states, up to the northern part of the country. For the northeastern axis, these storms may come with little or no rainfall at all, while we expect moderate rains to attend to the storms over parts of the central state, speaking about areas around Kwara, Niger, Kogi, down to Osun and Ekiti, and the coastal parts of the south and the southwest. We expect strong winds to also accompany these storms, and if you're commuting from one place to the other with your own vehicle, you may want to wait out these storms or drive very carefully within this period. With the moderate rains expected, cases of flash flood are also not totally ruled out. Thank you for watching, and see you again.
Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where Kano State's Governor Abba Yusuf has commissioned more than 100 buses and tricycle under the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas, that is CNG, and electric vehicles. The event held in Kano State marks another major step toward promoting cleaner, safer, and more affordable transportation across the country. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports that the initiative is aimed at reducing dependence on petroleum products through environmentally friendly energy alternatives.
This is the official launch of the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas and Electric Vehicles for Northern Nigeria, a program designed to strengthen the nation's transportation sector and stimulate economic development. Speaking during the commissioning ceremony, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf said the adoption of CNG and electric-powered vehicles will significantly reduce transportation costs and support the federal government's energy transition agenda.
We consider this construct of confidence in the strategic importance of current and economic potential of our.
The Presidential Initiative on CNG and electric vehicles was introduced to provide sustainable energy solution and cushion the effect of rising fuel cost by accelerating the adoption of cleaner and safer energy alternative nationwide.
So when we started, I called all the major BVP, ASAP, SCCG, Women, NIPO, Shafa, in less than 8 months we have CNG, 5 stations, 2 CNG stations, we have 1 power plant, 200 transactions, we are going to do 5,000 more.
Stakeholders at the event noted that the initiative would improve mobility, create employment opportunities, and contribute to a cleaner environment, particularly across northern Nigeria.
The negatively impacting private businesses, manufacturing, logistics, and ultimately the lives of ordinary Nigerians.
We all know the problems that have been caused by the issues in the Middle East and the removal especially of the fuel subsidy. So government in its wisdom, through its initiative of the presidential CNG initiative plus electric vehicle, came up with this program that will be used to alleviate the suffering of the people of Kano State, in particular, and Nigeria in general.
With over 200 CNG buses and tricycles now deployed in Kano, alongside the commissioning of 2 major refueling stations operated by Greenville and Assad Energy, authorities say the Tinubu administration's clean energy initiative is already making a significant impact on the lives of Nigerians. From Kano, Idris Jubrin, Global Television News.
And now to the foreign scene. United States President Donald Trump says talks with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have been extremely positive. The U.S. president said this while addressing a banquet on the first full day of a Concise Watch summit in Beijing. Uyi Agbomofuegbe reports that Trump described the evening at the lavish Great Hall of the People of another cherished opportunity to discuss among friends.
Trump's speech at the banquet highlighted centuries of cultural and economic ties between the two nations. He cited U.S. merchant Samuel Shaw's trade with China 250 years ago, Benjamin Franklin quoting Confucius in his newspaper, and President Theodore Roosevelt helping establish Xi's alma mater. Reflecting on his talks with Xi, Trump thanked the Chinese leadership for what he called a magnificent welcome at the start of his state visit.
We had extremely positive and productive conversations and meetings today with the Chinese delegation earlier, and this evening is another cherished opportunity to discuss among friends some of the things that we discussed today, all good for the United States and for China, and it was a great honor to be with you.
He also spoke about modern-day popular culture exchanges, saying Chinese restaurants in America today outnumber the 5 largest fast food chains in the United States all combined. Trump also used his address in Beijing to reveal that he had invited Xi Jinping.
Now in sport, the Nigerian Shooting Sport Federation is seeking closer collaboration with the Nigerian Army to promote shooting as a competition sport and create opportunities for military personnel across the country. Speaking during a visit to Army headquarters in Abuja, President of the Federation, Commodore Shetima Mohammed, said the Federation is legally recognized to use specific categories of sporting firearms in Nigeria and is affiliated with major international sporting bodies, including the International Shooting Sports Federation and the Nigerian Olympic Committee. Sport correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Commodore Mohammed explained that despite existing since 1976, shooting sports have struggled to gain widespread acceptance in Nigeria due to fears surrounding firearms and security concerns. He noted that the Federation is now intensifying efforts to reposition shooting as a safe and professional sporting activity, especially within the military community. According to him, countries around the world rely heavily on military athletes to represent them at international competitions, including the Olympics, adding that Nigeria can also tap into the vast potential within its armed forces.
Shooting is part of the ecosystem of the military. Globally, some countries are represented in Olympics majorly by component from their armed forces. So, but in Nigeria, unfortunately, we do not have that active participation of the military. I'm pleased to say that other security agencies like the DSS, they have their own shooting club. They even bought shooting rifles. But so far, the three services in Nigeria, none has a shooting club with required rifles.
He revealed that injured military personnel from the Northeast recently participated in para sports competitions organized by the Federation, describing the experience as helpful to their recovery and reintegration into society. Responding on behalf of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, represented by Major General Umar Gita, commended the Federation's efforts and pledged continued support for initiatives that promote discipline, youth development and national unity through sports. He noted that shooting sports help develop mental alertness, emotional stability, and responsible weapon handling, qualities considered essential in military operations.
You are going to have a lot of challenges because of the security situation in the country today. If you start talking about calling people to come and learn how to shoot, what are the caliber of people you are going to train? How do you ascertain their intent of coming to learn how to shoot?
Both parties agreed to deepen cooperation in training, competitions and talent development as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's profile in international shooting sports. Aniette Patrick, Global TV News.
That's it, a news cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.